Welcome back to Push the Pace Podcast. I'm Riley Tracy.
And I'm Sam Phillips. Today we're going to get into some FIBA action, the last of the FIBA action, some updated stuff going on in free agency, and we're going to spit off some hot takes. Should be very interesting.
Yeah, go check out our other socials. This should be a fun episode. Let's talk hoops.
All right, so for the first segment of today's podcast, we will be talking FIBA, the championship. Shout out Germany, shout out Dennis Schroeder, shout out Franz Wagner. Congrats to them. They beat Serbia. That's who got first and second place. They automatically get their ticket to the Olympics.
Yeah, Serbia, that's crazy they made that run without Jokic.
Imagine.
And I also saw Jokic in the club partying with them the other night, so that's cool.
Yeah, that is cool. I wish he would have played, though. I wonder if it would have made a difference.
You see how much bigger he's gotten, though?
Oh, you think he put on weight?
Oh,
man, he probably has. He's been celebrating, bro, at all those horse races and stuff. But yeah, also shout out to Canada and USA. They got the third and fourth spot locked down. They are locked in for the Olympics. Speaking of USA, there's a lot of commotion going on because people are surprised they got fourth place.
Yeah, they're assembling the Avengers. It looks like.
LeBron,
Kyrie, Curry, they're all coming back. And
immediately. They just put their bid in to go play in the Olympics.
I think it's kind of sad that these younger guys, we had the talent to be any team in FIBA, and they just didn't have the desire to do it, felt like.
Really?
Or they didn't mesh good together.
I feel like personally, like the bigger superstars like LeBron, Curry, and all them, they don't really see it as important as the Olympics, and I think that's the reason they are coming back is because it is the Olympics.
Yeah.
And FIBA is just kind of like qualifiers, just like leading up to it type thing. But they're still world champions as of now. Speaking of world champions, what are your thoughts on Noah Lyles' comments saying that NBA champions are not world champions?
I can see it both ways. The NBA, that's the best basketball league. The best players in the world are in there playing. But like a superstar USA team, that's going to be any team in the NBA.
Agreed.
I see what he's saying because there's other countries could be an NBA team.
100%.
Like Germany, I think they might.
You think they could be? Well, they have NBA players on their team though, and they were led by an NBA player.
Yeah.
So
it's just it's. I can see both ways.
Yeah, that's the argument. I think personally that if you put the best 5 players that are not in the NBA against the best 5 players in the NBA, it's a blowout. It's not even close. NBA is the best league in the world. I get what he's trying to say, that they're not world champions because they're not playing all around the world and playing against people all around the world. But literally, I think arguably the top 3 best players in the NBA are European.
USA doesn't produce the best players in the world no more. It's all overseas players.
Yeah. I mean, because everyone's like developed and caught up, right? But again, I still think NBA is the best league in the world, and that's why they consider themselves world champions because the talent is just it's not parallel.
Back looking at that FIBA tournament, though, if you look at these other countries in USA, I know I said USA, those younger players don't play as hard, but these other countries, their players play so much harder for their country than USA does.
Yeah, I forgot who said. I think it was Pat Bev.
Yeah.
Said on his podcast. I might be wrong on that, but he said that there's some players out there that would die literally to play for their country.
Yeah,
and speaking back to your point, like some USA players don't really see it like a big thing, so I don't know if it's a respect thing or maybe, I mean, you could make a case that those people dying to play for their country are just dying to do it at a high level because they couldn't make it to the NBA. So you could also, have that argument.
Yeah, I saw something on Twitter today. It was like Team USA, you have to choose players, and other countries, they want to be chose.
Exactly.
There's just a different
it's a
aura
huge
to
difference.
those different countries.
Yeah, but I'm definitely excited to see what happens in the Olympics. I think if it's true, the rumors like LeBron, Curry, Anthony Davis, Draymond, Devin Booker, all these big stars come together, I don't think it's going to be competition.
Yeah, they'll just blow everybody out the water.
I think so too. I think the biggest comp for them is going to be Canada. As far as I can see. I mean, I know they just
Canada had their super team this year and didn't even win it all.
Ooh, is that your take?
I mean, Canada, who didn't play for Canada this year that's Canadian off the top of your head? I can't think of anybody.
No, you're right though. I mean, their whole roster basically was NBA players.
Yeah. That was their super team. They can't build a better one, I don't see.
Yeah. You got a good point there. Okay, so transitioning into the latest in NBA free agency. Obviously, we talked about Christian Wood joining the Lakers. That was we talked about that last pod. The latest on Trey Murphy is a good one to bring up.
He tore his meniscus. That's a blow for the Pelicans.
Big time.
That's they're gonna have to make a move during the season. I see, and I've tore my meniscus, and that's a hard surgery to come back from.
Yeah, meniscus is terrible. Whether you have the technology to recover or not, it's awful.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it also raises questions for the Pelicans. Like for me, in our very first pod ever, if you're an OG and watch that far back, I mentioned Zion might not be committed to the Pelicans, and is that even more so now that they're losing a key rotation piece that could cost them a playoff round? Or
I don't know. I think his mind's already made up. There's going to be a lot of convincing for New Orleans to get him to stay for long term.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how injured he actually is, but I just see Zion being injured and not wanting to play for that organization. But we'll see. He hasn't been on the court his whole career, so see how happy he really is in New Orleans.
Yeah, I really want to see a full season of him healthy. I think it could be really scary.
Yeah.
I think they could actually do something for sure.
But do you think he's actually been injured or holding out?
Yeah, he's been injured. Yeah, it's been confirmed for sure. His weight's always been an issue, and I think that's a contributing factor. That's what everybody kind of debates, and I would agree. His weight's a big thing whenever it comes to the league. So yeah. What's some other free agency stuff?
It's really stagnant right now. We're still waiting for the big moves like we always talk about. Damon, James Harden.
Yep.
I don't know if Kelly Oubre signed anywhere yet.
No, I don't think so. But I did want to bring this up. Shams and Waj tweeted this week about NBA teams getting fined if they sit two star players
in
the same game. And they're huge fines. And they're trying to do that. Obviously, I can see why they're doing it from there, and for ratings, so people can actually see their favorite players play when they go.
I kind of look at it. You saw the Dallas Mavericks. They the last few games they were tanking for the 10th pick.
Yeah.
And that's at Kyrie and Luka. You think that's part of it as well?
I think that is a part of it, but I think they're more aiming at everybody as a whole, because look at Paul George and Kawhi.
Yeah,
how often did they rest them? You know what I mean? And by star player, they're saying people who have been an all-star in the last 3 years. So there's only about 8 teams that even qualify.
Look at the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah, but I don't think they're going to rest anybody because they don't have depth. If they rest someone, they're not going to win a game.
But that's true. But they have star-loaded team. If they rest 2 of their guys, I get some rest.
That's very true. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the league treats that. I think with that rule implemented, there's going to be a lot of loopholes. We might see Kawhi come in for 2 minutes of a game just so that they don't get fined. I could see something like that happening. But other than that, I think that was about it in free agency terms. Okay, so leading into the next topic, I got to ask you a question. I want to see your opinion on this. Who do you think has the most pressure heading into next season, whether it be a team, a player, or you can both?
I have one from both. I'm going to start off with a team that has the most pressure. And you saw what Giannis said the other day about he doesn't want to play for an organization that's not looking to win a championship. The Bucks have the most pressure because if they don't provide him a team that wants to win, Giannis is gone. And that's setting them back a decade, I feel like. That's instant rebuild. You got to break that team down and just restart all over.
Yeah.
And it's hard to get a player like Giannis in a draft, so that's hard to rebuild like that.
Yeah, of course, it's generational. Another thing on top of that, Giannis actually released another quote today on this subject. And he said something about if free agency comes around and he sees a better opportunity to win, he's going to take it.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I'll probably pull the exact quote up on the pod so y'all can see watching from home, but it's very scary. And for me, it raises questions as far as who does he think is not serious about the championship? Is it players? Is it coaching staff? Is it both?
Yeah.
Is he upset with Chris Middleton's situation, not coming back the same player? He thinks the window's closing.
And for them, they really just brought back their team this year, and maybe it is with the players, and they didn't improve. They just stayed stagnant and added maybe 2 pieces, but they brought everybody the same back.
Yeah.
So he just might think that front office doesn't have a desire to make his team better, or they don't have the opportunity to bring people into Milwaukee.
Yeah, but Giannis is one of those players. If he's on your team, in my opinion, you're in contending. Like, you're in contention.
Yeah. That boy gone though.
You think he's gone?
Yeah, he's gone. I have a feeling Chris Middleton's going to struggle to stay healthy again. I don't know his exact age, but I think he's getting up there.
Yeah.
Holiday, he's a guy, but it's not really a second star you want to put next to him. I mean, he's great, but I think Giannis is one of the bigger name next to him.
Well, I mean, I kind of agree and disagree there, because Drew Holiday was the perfect person to put next to him because they won a ring, and he's a really good defensive piece at the point guard, and he can get a bucket too. I feel like Drew Holiday's been one of the most underrated players in the league. Man, I'm just dying to know, why is Giannis releasing all these quotes all of a sudden? Like, what's going on in his head?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure, man, but he was active on Twitter today. He even commented on the Trey Lyles stuff.
Yeah, very true. So did you have a player?
Yeah, I got a player this might be a hot take out there in the NBA world. I think LeBron James has a lot of pressure on him this season.
Really?
You look at his career, I mean, Miami's the best team he's ever had. But looking at this Lakers team, I think this is the best, not all-around team, but one of the best teams he's had in his career. And if you're the best player in the world, shouldn't you be winning the championship with one of the best teams you've ever had? I think he has the most pressure on him if he wants to prove that he's a GOAT, in my opinion.
Oh, hard pass. Hard pass.
How not?
I disagree.
How not?
Bro, because he's 38 now?
Yeah.
He's 38. He's really up there in age. I feel like he's already done enough to prove that he's the GOAT, in my opinion. He obviously, whenever he was younger, he already put up the stats, but he's still putting up stats compared to when he was younger. He's still that guy, even to this day.
He's putting those stats up. He needs to go win him a ring then.
And in my opinion, longevity is one of the biggest reasons he is the GOAT, because he was able to stay great, not only be great, but to be great for that long. And to say that he needs to win a ring or he's not the GOAT is kind of crazy, because, man, he can't do the same things he did when he was 26, 27.
He can't, but he also didn't have this team when he was 26 and 27. He has 80. I think he's one of the best centers in the league. The wings he has on his team, they added Gabe Vincent, I believe. His team's just stacked. I wish you put another superstar on that. Like, if you switch Luka and LeBron, is he winning a ring with that team?
I think he would, but LeBron's not 24 like Luka is.
Okay, so put Jimmy Butler on that team. Is he winning a ring?
Jimmy Butler is also not 38. So
who's up there in age?
I mean, you can't even really say Steph, because even Steph's 4 years younger. So
yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like, that's how crazy it actually is he's so far up there and people are still expecting him to do this. Like, that's kind of crazy to me.
I mean, if you look at it, the GOAT, I think he's going to do it his whole career. But you look at Jordan, he went to Washington and didn't do nothing. Almost cussed right there.
But yeah, I think that's a little unfair to him. I think that, like, you compared it to the Miami Heat team. Is Anthony Davis and Chris Bosh comparable? Probably. Anthony Davis is probably better all time, and there might be some old heads get mad at me for that. But there's no one else on the team that can compare to Dwayne Wade.
Yeah.
So he even had more help back then whenever he won all those rings.
That team is better. That team would beat the Lakers.
But then again, I do agree that that the Lakers do have a great team this year. Like, I put them, honestly, I'd be surprised if they didn't make the Western Conference Finals at the minimum, because they are so stacked and they're so deep. But to say that he has a lot of pressure because he wouldn't be the GOAT if he won, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, well, I don't know. And going back to the Bosh thing, don't come at me, but AD and Bosh nowhere near comparable. AD has way more of a bag than Bosh. So do you have any teams or players that have a lot of pressure on them this season?
So for one, I have a team. I want to go ahead and throw my team out there first. And this one is kind of an oddball. Like, people aren't really going to think about it. For me, it's Cleveland. I think Cleveland is going to have a lot of pressure this year because Donovan Mitchell's on a contract year. And if they want him to stay, because they traded all those pieces for him, they want him to stay, right?
Yeah.
If they really want him to stay, they're going to have to prove that they're going to win with him. They're going to put the pieces around him to win. Last year was not a good example of that because they made it to the playoffs. They looked great in the regular season last year. They made it to playoffs and the New York Knicks upset them. And no one really expected. I mean, everyone knew it was possible that the New York Knicks beat them, but not in the way that they did.
Yeah, I don't see, no matter what's happening, Donovan Mitchell. Like, if they win a ring, which that team's not that team in the East, I don't see them winning a ring. I think it's good to say Donovan Mitchell's going to be gone after this season.
I don't necessarily think it's dependent on a ring. I think if they take like a huge leap, like say they shock everybody, make it to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah.
I think Donovan Mitchell's going to think about it. Because what does every player in the NBA want at the end of the day? They want to win. And if they got all the way there with him and they prove that they can get there with him, why would he not put thought into coming back?
But, yeah, that's true. But you also look at Mitch. I just look at him like he wants to be in a big market, and Cleveland's not that.
Well, LeBron kind of made Cleveland a big market. But now that he's gone, they're not really a big market. I see what you're saying. But, yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying. But I also think that winning is a big factor in there too.
Yeah.
As far as player goes, I think the most amount of pressure is going to be on Damian Lillard because he asked out. Do you not agree?
Well, the only way I can see is he gets traded to Miami and they don't do nothing.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He asked out of Portland because he wants to win, and if he goes to Miami and they don't do very well, it's going to look more bad on him than ever. It's going to hurt his legacy more than anything. Like, because people will see him as like, obviously he's one of the greatest shooters ever. They put him up there with Steph, Clay. I don't think he's as good as them, but he's in that tier of shooters. He's one of the most clutch players ever. He's solidified himself. I think top 75 NBA history, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He's up there. I think if you leave Portland, if you ask out because they're not winning and then you go to the Miami Heat and you can't figure it out, I think that's going to hurt him more than anything. It's going to hurt him very bad.
Yeah, he's at a point in his career if he asks out and they don't win nothing, that's going to hurt his all-time, just looking at his whole career.
Yeah, people are going to see it as an asterisk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He'll ruin it. He won't ruin it. He's kind of, in my opinion, he's ruining his name a little bit. Just be like, oh, I only want to go to Miami. I won't show up to camp if I don't go to Miami. That's why I do that. It's a business, and you don't always get to choose where you get to go.
Yeah, it's definitely transformed over the years of players being more in control.
Yeah.
And I don't think the NBA likes that. I'd be willing to bet that they're trying to figure out ways to make it to where it's not like that anymore. Yeah. But how do you?
Yeah, you really can't.
Yeah. So I feel bad that probably the Miami Heat are lowballing them because they know, hey, this is the only place he wants to come, so you got to accept our offer. But at the end of the day, yeah, I think that he's who has the most pressure.
You've seen trades in the past where like Chris Paul to
Rockets?
No.
Suns?
No, he got traded to a team and it got denied.
Oh, the Lakers.
Yeah, he got traded to the Lakers with Kobe, and that got denied.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you see the NBA doing that with the Dame trade? Just like,
no, definitely not. I don't think they ever do that again in history.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't think they ever do that again. They did it back then, I believe, because they didn't want Chris Paul and Kobe literally dominating every year because that'd be bad for ratings. There would be no competition.
Yeah.
Nobody would even be able to compare. So they did that on purpose so that wouldn't happen.
Do you at least see them getting fined for tampering? Like, would you consider this tampering at all?
Not unless players were saying, hey, force a trade here.
Yeah.
That's the only way.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I don't really see it stopping.
Yeah.
So on that note, who do you think is the next player to force their way out of a team?
Other than James and Dame, I think it's going to be Joel.
Embiid?
Yeah. He's been through this with Tyrese Max. No, he's been through it with Ben Simmons. I think it's Joel Embiid. He's been through this with Ben Simmons, James Harden, and Fultz, right? Marco Fultz.
Mm-hmm.
They all asked out of there. At some point, you got to look at where you're at and be like, man, maybe this ain't the place to be. Knowing I can't stick a superstar around me. I don't know if it's you or the the front office, but I think he's soon to be gone.
Yeah, and Daryl Morey's been getting a lot of hate lately, the owner of the Sixers. And you have to ask, does Joel Embiid agree with what everyone's saying about Daryl Morey? Does he even want to play for someone that's being accused of these things? Stuff like that.
You see him hanging out with who is he? He was in Phoenix the other day watching a game. He's been hanging out in Phoenix with some players.
Who?
Joel Embiid.
Really?
Yeah, I saw him at a game hanging out.
No way he goes to the Suns.
And it's impossible.
That would be crazy, though.
Imagine. DeAndre Ayton, Joel Embiid swap. Well, stoppable.
100%.
All right, next we're going to be transitioning over to some of our hot takes over this upcoming season. And I'm probably going to get a lot ahead of this. I think Wembanyama is going to be a bust, and he's not going to win Rookie of the Year this year.
Really? A bust? Define bust.
The way y'all are hyping this man's name up, I don't think he's going to live up to it. I mean, he's in the right place to do it, but I just don't see him being that guy. He's going to be a good player, a decent player in the NBA. I just don't think he's going to be what y'all think he's going to be.
Mm-hmm. So he's definitely going to be one of a kind, and I pray that he does not have a career full of injuries because I really want to see his potential. I want to see what he can do. But what the media and everyone is portraying him to be is a 7'1", 7'1" power forward. Spurs said he was going to play power forward in the media the last couple of days. 7'1" power forward with a KD type bag because of the way he can shoot, the way he can dribble, the way he can move.
Yeah.
If that is true, everything you just said is completely incorrect.
But is it going to be true is the whole question, and I don't think it's going to be true.
Okay.
I don't see that. I think he's going to get to this NBA level, and sad to say, he might get injured. It's like you look at Porzingis, they're built kind of the same. He's taller, but he got injured a lot because just how slim he is, and I just don't see – I see him pulling up. He's tall. He can pull up over people. I just think he's going to get to the NBA, and his bag's not that deep, especially on defensive side when people are backing him down, and he can just get posted up pretty easily.
Yeah, that's true. I think that there's defensive schemes for that, though, which is probably why they're playing him at power forward because they don't want him guarding those heavier guys. Yeah. So that's smart on Pop's end, already making adjustments for the season. So he'll be guarding more like versatile, skinnier power forward guys.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. I think the Rory take is a good take because I'm a big believer in Chet. I think Chet could definitely win Rookie of the Year.
It's just another Ben Simmons situation.
Yeah, for sure.
A year to get NBA ready, and now.
Or honestly, my hot take on this: if winning did not matter in these races at all, I would say Anthony Black.
Really?
I'm a big believer in Anthony Black. I think he's going to be huge. I don't know what kind of numbers he's going to put up, but man, I loved watching him in the summer league. If winning did not matter, I think that he would go home with Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
And that is my hot take.
I could see that. Because Orlando Magic, they don't really have a deep team of scorers. Mm-hmm. So he's going to have a huge opportunity to go get a bucket. All they have is Bencaro.
Yeah. But I say that obviously because they're going to take winning into account. Like they do with every award every year. They're probably going to end up giving it to Chet. I don't see the Spurs winning as many games. And Chet, I feels like, is going to be a second option probably. I think he's going to have a huge role in that OKC offense, and they're going to be good. So
you also got to look at the impact they have. Like if Chet, they already won how many games they won? They won a good amount of games last year with Oklahoma City.
They got in the play-in.
If they have a small jump and he's not their main guy, I don't see like if he's going to have an impact, but how much of an impact is he going to have? If Anthony Black jumps that team up 20 more games. Winning, that's the Rookie of the Year right there.
Yeah, man, I have high hopes for him. Yeah. He has potential to be a star.
Yeah,
no doubt about it.
Yeah, I could see the Magic being a dark horse team to make the playoffs for sure. They just have that aura around them, like the Sacramento Kings forever weren't good, but out of nowhere they just let's go.
Gotcha.
You got any hot takes?
Yeah, I do want to throw one out there. My hot take is that by the trade deadline, if not before, the Chicago Bulls will have blown up their whole team.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can see that.
I think their stars are going to be gone. I think they would be delusional to continue what they have been doing and expect it to change. They just they just extended Vucevic. So that tells me that maybe they are trying to repeat everything.
Yeah, I think, my bad if I interrupted you,
No,
but I think if they're in the middle of the pack, but they know they're not going to win like a championship, I think they might try to trade for another star, move on from one of their stars.
Yeah.
I don't see them blowing up mid-season.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if they get another star and it's still not working out, let's blow it up.
Yeah. So they've obviously had LaVine thrown around in trade talks for forever. My question is, who are you going to trade LaVine for?
His trade value went down tremendously.
Yeah, I mean, elephant in the room, they've been waiting on Lonzo Ball to get back because whenever he was healthy, we talked about it on the other pod, they were like first in the East for a while. Whenever, obviously, this was when Lonzo was healthy. They had DeMar, LaVine, Vucevic. They were running like a well-oiled machine. They were doing great. But they haven't had that point guard since then. They've been running with Ayo. Nothing against Ayo. He's a great PG.
Yeah.
But he's not Lonzo. He doesn't have the impact of Lonzo. I think that by the trade deadline, either Zach LaVine will be gone, or in my opinion, they should just go ahead and trade Zach LaVine, DeMar, Vucevic to different contenders and just get a bunch of picks, get a bunch of young players, and just get a head start on that rebuild.
How do you feel about one of those stars going over to OKC if they're in the pack and they get some of their picks that they have? Like, say DeMar goes over to OKC.
I think OKC says no to that.
Really? You think they'd rather stay young?
Well, I don't think they would stay young. I think that if OKC were to trade for somebody, they would trade for a big fish.
Yeah.
Like not take a chance on DeMar fitting into their system. Because you got to think about it. DeMar has a pretty high usage rate. He needs the ball in his hands. That's going to take away from Shai. If they're going to trade anything, any of their assets is going to be for a bigger fish, like, say, Giannis wanting out or Embiid or something like that.
Yeah. They just need – I think OKC's going to get to the point where they're getting in the playoffs, but they don't have that veteran presence that's been in a championship game, and they're going to need that one day. But DeMar's not that either.
Yeah, for sure. So I want to ask, who do you think is going to be the top four in each conference by the end of the season? Like, who do you think is in the Western Conference Finals and Eastern Conference Finals this upcoming year?
All right. I know I was just talking down on LeBron about him might be in the GOAT, but he's in the GOAT conversation, and he does have one of the best teams around him. I do think it'll be the Lakers, and I think someone's going to have a Cinderella story this year in the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Stop it. You think OKC's going to jump to the WCF?
I mean, if Chet turns out to be a good center, yes. I can see them just – like, no one's going to be prepared for it. Am I wrong? Like, just how Sacramento was last year. Mm-hmm. No one was prepared for them.
But Sacramento didn't even make it out of the first round, even though they had third seed.
That's different.
Different.
I think Oklahoma City Thunder is more deep and has more talent than the Sacramento Kings.
Oof. No way.
What?
You think the OKC's more deep and has more talent than the Kings?
D Fox or Shea?
D Fox.
What?
D Fox. No. De'Aaron Fox is better than Shea. I feel like Shea has gotten. Shea's great. Do not take me out of context.
Overhyped. Is he overhyped?
He's a little overhyped. A little bit. A little bit.
Bro.
He gets. Oh man, I don't want to say this. He gets a lot of free throws, man. A lot of free throws. De'Aaron Fox was statistically the clutchest player in the league last year. He led that team to the third seed.
Do you think Joel Embiid's a great center?
Yeah, he's a great center.
How many free throws does he get?
He gets a lot, yeah.
Exactly.
Free throws is a part of the game.
Yeah, exactly.
But back to our topic. D Fox is better than Shea.
No, I don't think so.
What makes you think Shea's better?
I think Shea just has more of a bag. And
he does have more of a bag.
And then what's the question?
Okay, let's think about it. Who you said bag, so scoring goes to Shea.
Yeah.
Playmaking.
Shea.
No. De'Aaron Fox has a way better playmaking.
Okay, say playmaking goes to
finishing.
Shea.
Are you kidding me?
He was up there for the best finisher in the league. He was, actually.
He had most points per drive, so probably. But De'Aaron Fox is so quick, bro. Like, all of his points come from the basket.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
I don't know. I was watching Team Canada.
Comment below who is better, De'Aaron Fox or Shea, because
no one could stop him with FIBA either. He's hitting fadeaway.
Yeah, but we just talked about FIBA's not as good as NBA. So
still,
you know what I'm saying? He was playing against a lot of Euro leaguers. So
did they play
again, bro? Don't come for my neck because Shea's a great player. He was just all team NBA. I think De'Aaron Fox is better.
Yeah.
If I had to start a team today and pick out a D Fox or Shea as my first pick, I'm picking D Fox.
Hold on,
I'm doing it.
You think Team USA had the best team out there in FIBA? They had all the NBA players.
Yeah, they had the best team.
So Dylan
but they
Brooks
didn't perform the best. Dylan Brooks did drop 40. But at the same time, they had the best team talent-wise, and obviously they didn't perform that way because they ended fourth. But that wasn't the best the NBA had to offer either.
No.
Yeah.
But
so
I still think Shea's better than D Fox. And
definitely not.
Shit.
But you're saying, okay, wait. No, back to I'll bleep it out. Back to it. You think OKC is going to be in the Western Conference Finals with the Lakers? That means they are going to be over the Nuggets.
Yeah. Nuggets, they got fat.
The Nuggets.
No.
The Warriors.
You see Jokic, man? I seen him in the club. His boobs are bouncing up and down. He's gotten big.
I don't want to hear that. Yeah,
They've gotten worse.
I'm imagining Chet trying to guard Jokic right now.
Hey, remember Victor Wembanyama? There's a scheme to stop people like that.
Really? What was it last year?
Remember, you told me.
There's a scheme to talk.
Yeah, put in Chet at the 4 and put a.
Okay, but who does guard Jokic? That was my whole point.
Double team him.
Okay, then that leaves somebody open. That's what makes him so good.
I mean,
nobody could stop it last year. You think a young OKC team's going to stop it this year?
I mean, I said it's a Cinderella story, man.
I know, but you're predicting that. So you're saying over the Nuggets, over the Warriors, over the Suns.
Yeah.
Over the Kings, obviously, because we just have this debate.
I don't believe in the Suns at all.
Dude, I'm going to be honest. I think teams like the Dallas Mavericks could make it over the Thunder.
Oh,
I think. I wonder why. And all those teams I listed previously, I think have a better chance than the Thunder. To be honest, in my opinion, this is another hot take I'm kind of throwing out there. I don't think the Warriors are going to be as good as they normally are this year.
And I just saw Chris Paul starting.
Chris Paul started.
Not going to work out.
Chris Paul, Curry, Clay.
Defense?
Who knows what's going to happen?
Who's going to guard them?
They're going to take a step back, and they still have a better chance than the Thunder, bro.
No. I think the Thunder are getting Giannis Antetokounmpo. I think the Thunder will get Joel Embiid and win the finals this year. Book it.
Well, anyways, okay, who's
right, now
East?
my East?
Yeah, East. Let's keep doing this.
I think it's the Boston Celtics and the Orlando Magic. I'm just kidding.
The Orlando Magic.
Nah, I think it's going to be Boston Celtics. And the East is kind of, it's not as loaded as the West. I can see the Knicks sneaking in there.
The Boston Celtics and the Knicks.
Yeah.
So no Milwaukee.
No, I don't.
No Miami Heat.
I'll be honest with you, bro. Milwaukee, I think they are losing. I think they're losing Giannis. I think I said that.
They're not going to lose him that quick, though.
No. I think he'll play this season and see what happens this offseason, but I don't see Chris Middleton being healthy. Their team didn't get any better this offseason. I think they should have moved on from Brook Lopez or something to get more money in there. I just don't see them getting that
Knicks and Celtics.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about it. I personally don't think the Celtics are going to make it that far this year.
Whoa, that's a take.
It is. I think that losing Marcus Smart is going to hurt a lot more than what people are thinking. I think adding Kristaps Porzingis was a great move, and I think it is possible that they make it that far if he's healthy. But he hasn't been healthy. He hasn't been healthy.
He's had a whole offseason off, and he ain't healthy. His heel hurt. Man, why am I arguing with myself? Keep on going.
Yeah. The Knicks, man, they're a team that rides in waves, bro. Like, 1 week, they look like the most dominant team in basketball. The next week, you're asking yourself, why is RJ Barrett taking 45 shots? And you're wondering what's going on in New York. And every time something goes wrong, I always see it in the media, Twitter, everything. They're always blaming Julius Randle for all of their problems, and they're trying to trade him. Which I think they might do this year. If they really are about it, they're probably going to do that.
That team got a lot better this offseason. Like, towards the end of the trade deadline, they got better. They got better at the trade deadline, and they got better at this offseason, in my opinion.
Yeah, they added Josh Hart and DiVincenzo, but you think that makes them a title team? I'm just going to come out and say whoever's coming out of the West is winning the finals.
Yeah, I believe so, too.
You think so, too?
East isn't strong at all, especially that franchise falling apart over there. Toronto, Boston, or not Boston, Philadelphia, Cleveland. If they lose Donovan Mitchell, that's kind of going to be a huge hole to fill.
Yep, you're right.
West doesn't have any big holes, really. All the franchises.
There's only like a handful of teams that aren't really good, and that's why it's so hard to rank Western Conference teams, because there's so many that can make the playoffs given the right games.
Yeah.
So
I think Oklahoma City Thunder is going to win the finals.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'll give mine. I'm going to go Lakers Nuggets. I think it's going to be a different story.
So basic. All right.
I think it's going to be a different story than last year, though. I don't think the Nuggets are going to sweep them. I think it's going to be a lot different because the Lakers look different this year. I don't know who's going to win. I'm just putting who's in my top two over there. Lakers Nuggets. In the East, I'm not saying Celtics. I'm going with the Bucks. I still believe the Bucks will be there. And I am going to say the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Bucks and the Cavs will be in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Who do you think would win that series?
I really think that Cleveland has a chance. Cleveland has a chance. But I think that if Giannis locks in and does what we all know Giannis can do, Bucks win.
Yeah, because Giannis has a really deep bag and he can just...
Mm-hmm.
Giannis is not that guy. He has no bag.
What did you say?
I mean, if he's let's say he's 6'6". Giannis doing this, bro?
But he's not. But he's not 6'6".
But he has no bag.
Dude, yes he does.
What, dribbling, taking 3 steps and dunking the ball?
He's the most dominant player in the NBA, whether you want to admit it or not.
Not ever, but yeah.
No, I didn't say ever. But he is the most dominant player in the NBA when healthy.
I guess so. Shaq, if he was 6'6", he wasn't dominant at all.
Yeah, that's a terrible argument.
We're keeping it. I don't care.
Gosh, dude. Okay, so I got to hear, do you have any other player comparisons that people like to bring up? Because we have to disagree on more if you said Shea was better than D. Fox. All right, let me ask you this. Steph Curry or Luka Doncic?
I might have to say Luka. You just got to look at even on defense. I know Luka gets a bad hate. Like, people hate on his defense of effort. But when you watch Luka in playoff games, I think his defense is actually not bad at all. And I would take Luka on the post. I'd rather have Luka with the ball in his hands in clutch time. I would rather have Luka posting up another player. I'd rather have Luka guarding somebody on defense than Curry. Because you have to throw Curry on an on-ball defender, and I don't think he's walking him up. But Luka, you can throw on a bigger guy. He can guard him in the post. I'd rather have Luka passing the ball, controlling the game. Plus, his pace is one of a kind.
Okay. Here's why you're wrong. And here's why it's Steph Curry.
Okay.
Steph Curry is the greatest shooter of all time, right? He's a proven winner. And yes, you could make the argument that Luka hasn't had a team around him like Curry has had his whole career. But I think people, I want to say people are more afraid of playing Curry than Luka whenever it comes to games that matter.
Yes, because of his off-ball, though. I think that's why.
Because of his off-ball presence? I think it's a lot more than that.
Okay.
He's added on to his game over the years, and he's able to make plays that no one else can make. He's able to shoot shots that no one else can make. And he's just dominant.
Okay.
And he plays defense. Now, here's my thing about Luka. if Luka stopped complaining so much, and yes, I've seen Mavs Twitter on social media. They even agree with this, most of them, unless they're just blind. He needs to stop complaining. He spends a good amount of possessions per game on the other end of the floor yelling at a ref instead of getting back on defense. If he stopped complaining and got back and played defense 100% of the time, we would be having a totally different conversation right now. Because there was a point last year where he was leading the league in steals, and because he knows how to play the passing lanes very well. He's not a bad defender whenever he wants to be. But the problem is sometimes he even like gets too tired, which I understand his usage rate's out of the roof, but sometimes he just doesn't even show any effort on that end. And it's something that you can't overlook.
Can I change your mind real quick?
Okay.
When that Warriors dynasty started winning rings, if you put Luka right now on that team with as he was winning those rings, you put instead of Curry, you put Luka. I honestly think they have more rings.
I disagree because it wouldn't be the same offense.
Yeah.
Their offense is very, very like they move the ball a lot. Luka doesn't do that.
Yeah.
That's why the Mavericks are building the roster the way they are, because they're putting players around them that are very good at defense and can shoot. They have a secondary playmaker in Kyrie, obviously, for whenever Luka's getting a little gas. Let's give it to Kyrie, let him make something happen. But I don't know. I don't see Luka giving he lets Kyrie do his thing, but I think if you put Klay Thompson and KD on the same team as Luka, I think one of them is going to get frustrated because Luka's taking too many possessions.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but because I'm not sure. KD did leave Oklahoma because he didn't have an opportunity. I feel like I'm not sure. I still think it's Luka right now.
Still think it's Luka.
All time Curry, Luka now.
Okay.
Who you think's better, Joel Embiid or Jokic?
Jokic.
Yeah, same.
Glad we agree on that.
Well, let's end on an agreement, man.
Yeah, I think that's it. Man, we appreciate y'all tuning in for another episode. I know it was kind of everywhere today, but we had a lot of fun. Leave some comments on what your opinions are on some of these comparisons. If we had terrible takes or if we had great takes, let us know. Yeah, thanks for watching. I'm excited to watch the Thunder win a championship this year. Next episode, we are going to have another guest. It should be fun. Yeah. Looking forward to that. But thanks for watching and come back next week. See ya.